Okay, so I've started. So I'll present my screen now. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, so
No problem.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. So um,
No,
all right. You can unmute. Thank you. You can mute. Thank you. Today is day one, and today we are going to talk about uh, introduction to UI UX, which is one of the first steps that you have to take if you want to design a website or develop a website, right? So, so okay, so let me just go to the content. So, like I introduced myself in the first meeting, my name is Sadio Usman, and I graduated from Unilorin as well, mathematics department in year 2019. So currently, I focus on cybersecurity, but I have the foundation of web development. So I also develop website for some businesses as well. All right, so today we are going to learn UI UX, just the basics of UI UX. So, okay, so what you are going to learn is how a website works. So if you have been browsing a website, you've been browsing different websites all this while, and all you do is just type in the web address to your browser, and then it gives you the interface. You don't know what's going on behind the whole website. So today you are going to know. Then we'll talk about the difference between web design and development, and then we try to understand the importance of web design in development process. Right. So um, so let's start. I'll start with how does a website work before we now move to um, web design slash UI UX. So the way a website works is that you have your code, which is probably the front end and back end, right? So the front end, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for the pages and dashboard, right? Then for backend, you have databases and the logic codes that will link your front end to the back end, right? So you have your code probably developed on your local host, that is your local computer. So then you now have some host company that will host your website. So when your code is on your local host, it's not accessible to the internet, right? It's not public, so you have to host it where people can see it, where it will be allowed for people to see it publicly, right? So after that, so that's where you host your website, right? And then you now connect a domain name to it, so that when people type the domain name which is unique to your website, it will fetch the front end code and back end to fetch everything, and then it renders on the screen. So that's the third part, which is when a user send a request by probably visiting the domain name, then your the request will be responded to. So I'll just show you briefly what a web host looks like, and so I'll show you. This web host qserver.net. All right, so this is a web host, right? And it's showing that this host has this user has a service running and a domain running. You can see here. So this is the domain name. So basically, when you want to host your files, you want to host a file and you want to have a dedicated domain name, so you have to buy a domain name. So you buy a domain name, either you register a new domain name or you transfer. So when you buy the domain name, so let's say I want to buy a new domain name, register a new domain name, right? So it will show me this form. So basically, most of the web hosting platform, so they have this kind of form. So you will fill, let's say, Unilorin inspire.com, right? So you will check if the domain name is available, then you pay for it. So you can see, congratulations, unilorinspire.com is available. So when you now click continue, it will tell you to pay for you, input your card and pay it. So that means you've gotten a domain name for yourself, right? So you also buy a host. That's where you put all your files, right? So let's say I want to buy a host space for this domain name. So I'll click on order new service, right? So then I'll buy. So let's say I want to buy this one. So I'll buy this. So before you buy, you look at the features that comes with the package, right? So this one is saying 6 gig web space, 30 gig bandwidth, 999 email account, and the likes, unlimited MySQL. So these are the things you would look for when you are buying your domain name. So then you ensure that the web space can accommodate all the size of your file, the file you want to upload, that is your JavaScript, your HTML and CSS and other stuff, images. So you ensure that this 6 gig can do what, can accommodate it. Then bandwidth is the number of traffic it can actually take. So it's usually per month. So if it's a big website, if it's a website that requires large traffic, then you definitely want to go for a service that, sorry, I clicked. So you want to go for a service that can accommodate large traffic. So how this bandwidth is calculated, the usage is that when you load a page, the size of the page is counted as part of the as if you have used part of this bandwidth, right? So when a page is let's say maybe 20 kilobytes, you load 20 kilobytes, and like 100 people also load 20 kilobytes. So 20 kilobytes times 100, that's like 2 MB. So it's still very minute for this. So let's say your website is just a small website that doesn't require a lot of traffic, right? So like maybe 100 people or so. So this is still good for you to buy. So these are the things you just explore and see if depending on your money and your pocket rather, and um the traffic that you want your website to accommodate. All right, so when you click order, it will ask you to link the the domain name you want to use. So here it's saying register a domain name, transfer, or I will use my existing domain. So had it been you've bought that Unilorin Inspire, if you bought that Unilorin Inspire, we just impute Unilorin Inspire here. Alright, so once you impute it, you click continue, and then so that means this whole space, the whole space that you bought has been linked with the the Unilorin inspired domain name. Then remember that you cannot use space in between a domain name. So you can't use space. So you rather write everything together or use hyphen in between. So that's the rule of domain name. So once you do that, then now you have something like this. Home. Let me see. So you have, so once you do that, you have this as, this will be showing that you have a service, that is a web space that where you can put all your files, and then to be showing that you have a domain name, right? So when it's showing like that, so it's not immediately you buy your domain name that it will start working. So it has to it will take like 24 to 48 hours before it will start working, right? So once it starts working, then anyone that visits that domain name will be shown a default page, as the web hosting company has set it up. So there's a default page they will show to show that the URL, the domain name is working, right? So now when you now have your web, your host space, so let me go to this account, right? So I'll go to these accounts. So there's a control panel that will be assigned, that will be given to you. So let me go to the full control panel. Log into control panel. So when you go to the control panel, to show you everything that you need to set up your website, right? So when you set up the website, all right, so these are the tools you need that comes with the whole space that you bought, right? So you have email, you have, so now you want to host your website, so you come to file manager. So the website that is on this whole space is that RDS website. So let me show you rds.com.ng. So that's the website there. All right, so this is the website. So this is the website here, right? So So now, before this website will be able to work, that's the process I just explained now is what we did for this website to be accessible to the internet. So we bought the domain name and we bought host space, right? Yeah. So when you buy the host space, I've shown you the control panel. So the files associated with is here inside file manager. So when you go to file manager, um the public file, the file you are seeing, this website itself is hosted inside the public HTML folder. So it's a folder. So you can see all the files with this is all the file associated with the website. You can see WP admin, error log, and everything. So if I open this, if I open any of this, you see the codes that I was used. So let's see, maybe sign up. So I click on edit. So you see all the codes that is written for that sign up page, right? So um, that's basically how the website works. So anything within the public HTML folder is what will be accessible on the internet here. So if you click on this, it means that this page on the public uh, is on the public inside the public HTML. All right, so we can see the website here. Um so I think that has explained everything. So if it's a website that has a a database that will be attached to it, right? Probably it need user registration and the likes. Then this is a database settings that you can do. You can create a database and connect to the website, right? So back to our um, slide here, this document. So like as you can see, I think I've explained these three process now. So you have a code, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? And then you have the logics. You if it requires probably sending a request and receiving a request back. So you have that. Then you host your code with a
Sir, it's not showing again.
okay. Uh, can you see this screen?
It is showing. It is showing.
It's showing this. Can you see this
Yes.
Microsoft Word?
How does the
Okay,
website
sir,
work?
now
Yes.
it's showing.
So you can see. All right. Thank you. So you have your code. You host it in a web hosting space. You connect a domain name to it, and then
Sir, it's not showing.
It is showing. Oh.
it's showing. Maybe it's your network. Oh. Someone said it's showing.
It is showing here too.
Okay. So that's that about. So do you understand this part? Please respond before we move on. Any question regarding what I
Yeah.
just explained?
I have a question, sir.
So what's the question?
Regarding what you said just now, you said if probably someone already bought a domain name
Yeah.
and I decide to like use the same name, it won't work on the server you just clicked on, right? But what if it was on another server? Okay, probably like this Unilorin Inspire that I use. Let's say probably like someone bought it. Then I decide not to use this same server to buy my own domain name. I decide to use another server. Can I still use the same name, or it will still tell me that it is not available?
Yes, it will tell you it's not available. So how that one works is that um so you see these all these web hosting company, right? So they buy the domain, like they buy the service from another international company, right? So it is that company that will. So when you actually say you want to buy a name here, so you are just using this platform to buy domain name from that international company. So do you understand? So all of them are connected to the same source. So when you are saying you want to buy a domain name from any of these web hosting services, right? So you are sending your domain, you are sending your request to the same source. So which means that if the domain name is has been taken already, has been registered already, it will still tell you that it has been registered. You can't use it. So even if let's look for another Google hosts, googlehosts.com. So there are different web hosting services company you can use. But some of them they are not that reliable, so you just have to know. So this one is saying search for domain name. So let's say you understand that this rds.com is already taken, right? I bought it from this Q server. Now, so if I search the same from this Google host, it will tell me that .com.ng. It will tell me that the domain has been registered. If I don't need to register again, or I'll go on. So you can see. So what it's saying is that premium domains can only be registered by contacting support. It's not premium domain now. So let me search again and see. So it has been registered. So let's look for another. Let's say Unilorin. What was the website of Unilorin address again? Unilorin.edu.ng, right?
Yes, sir.
No, it's portal.unilorin.edu.ng.
No, it's not portal dot. So you can see that it's saying that unilorin.edu is unavailable. And I'm sure that Unilorin did not use Google Host to host this website. So let's check where Unilorin hosted this website. Who is lookup? Let's see if we are going to get where Unilorin hosted it. Just to so now so to the question that that lady asked the other time. Now, so what also goes on in the back end is that when you say you want to register a domain name, eh, so the domain name is assigned a unique IP address. So when the domain name, when you register, it is assigned a unique what? IP address, which means that there is no other website that can be assigned that IP address. So what go to that aspect. So your request, then um, there is a server called DNS server that will search for the IP address that matches the domain name, then send your request to the server where your website is hosted. So you can see here the information. So the registrar information is Websoft Limited. So I think this is the hosting company that Unilorin used. Let's see. Is it? Or maybe this is the person that's managing the website. This is the company that is managing the website, because it's not even showing any web service. So let's go. So you can see registrant contact. Sorry. So this is the person in charge of that registered the domain name. So let's see. So this is the web soft that is showing actually. So probably is the person that is the company that is in charge of, excuse me, computer services and information technology. So probably is the person that's in charge of the website. So I was saying that a central body registers the domain name, right? So this is the central body that registers the domain name. This ICANN, internet something something something. I can't remember the full ICANN, internet. Uh, okay, let me just browse it. You can see Internet Corporation for Assigned Numbers and Assigned Name and Numbers, right? So that's the organization that is in charge of assigning a dedicated IP address to every domain. So you can see domain name registrant. So they are the only one that register domain name, right? So anywhere you want to buy your domain name from, so the request is still going to this ICANN. So that's why anywhere you want to buy a domain name, if the domain has been registered before, it will tell you it has been registered anywhere, even if you are not using the same host company where the domain name has been registered before. So they maintain the same database where they are fetching the request you are posing. So that's that about that. So any question? Any question? Okay, in the absence of no question, I will just move on. So I'd like to clear my tabs. All right. Okay, so that's that. You now know how a website work, right? Um, okay, so now to the main topic. So introduction to web design and UI UX. So that's part of what we want to talk about today. So in this lesson, we'll talk about understanding the difference between web design and web development. Then we'll explain the fundamentals of UI, which is user interface, and UX, which is user experience design. Identify key components of a well-designed website. So let's just go. I think I've mentioned that already. So what is web design? Yeah. So web design is the process of planning, conceptualizing, and arranging content for the internet, right? Or let's say for visual appearance and user experience. So this second I say it focuses on the visual appearance, user experience, and overall functionality of the website. So what they are trying to say is, so before you start writing your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so you have to visualize how you want the website to look like, right? Not that you just start coding. So you have to first of all internalize the concept, have a concept behind the website. Probably it's your website or it's for a client. So part of planning, conceptualizing, and arranging content is understanding the point of view of your client or the purpose that you want the website to serve. So that will um, make you visualize the appearance that okay, this type of website it should look like this. This is how it should look like. This is how the experience should be when if someone is browsing the website. So a good website, a good web design ensures that visitor find information easily. That's number one. And the website is aesthetically appealing. That's number two. It is accessible to all users, including those with disabilities. That's number three. And number four, it works across different screen sizes, whether it's desktop, tablets, or mobile. So that's what they call responsiveness. So for this, the first one, which says that visitors should find information easily, right? So you don't want to build a website that your visitors need to start calling the customer service to use your website, right? So it has to, so the features that you want the users to use has to be somewhere that they will see it, not that they will start, they will have to click and click before they see what they want to use, right? So like this website is showing the menu, and this menu are the important part of this website. So someone that is coming to this website probably wants to know what they are doing in this company, and they want to be able to see the information, right? So this home page will present the information they need, right? Who we are, excuse me. So who we are and the services that this company provides, right? So and here is the service page. So the person wants to go to service page, it's here easily, right? So if you want to know most things about this organization, the links are there for you to click easily. It's somewhere that is visible. You don't have to start clicking around before you see what you want, right? So that's number one. Then number two is that the website is aesthetically appealing. So what does aesthetic mean? Can anybody answer that? Aesthetic.
To be big.
Hmm?
It means it must be attractive to the customer or the audience.
Yes. So it must be attractive, right? So you must use colors that blend, not colors that you can hardly see, that does not contrast. Like you can imagine if this one is kind of pale white, right? And the background is also white. So what does it do? So how will the visitor will how will they be able to read what is there? So it has to be appealing, and the colors too needs to pop so that it will look attractive, right? So that's that's so it is accessible to all users, including those with disability. So this part can be it's somehow I won't say it's difficult to implement, but um we don't actually consider that in this part of the world, because there's no law that is guiding against building a website for disables. So part of the features that can help, excuse me, that can help your website to be accessible to disables, right? Is having maybe a voice, a feature that can read the content to the visitor, so that if that person is visual is if that person has an has a okay, I thought someone wants to join. So if that person is has any hearing impairment, then the person will be able to, I mean, sorry, if that person is visually impaired, so which means that the person can hear but probably could not see the content. So then the voice can speak to the person, and the person will be able to understand what the website he or she has visited. Right. So um, that's that. So it works across different screen size. So you want to build a website that can adjust to all screen sizes, right? So for for instance, let's say we want to test the let's say we want to test this website for if it can adjust to screen size. Yes. um, Okay, so let me just use this side. So I can easily minimize here, right? And adjust the size. Let me, so I can easily minimize here and adjust the size, right? And you can see that the content is adjusting to, so you can see this is like a phone size, a mobile size. You can see that the menu has contracted down to burger menu. Then you can see the menu here, right? So you can, if you scroll down, you see that the all the element has realigned, and it is visible in a mobile view, right? So that's what is meant by works across different screen size. So that's that. So the difference between web design and web development is that, so for web design, it focuses on the visual appearance. Okay, so the focus is on visual aesthetic, user experience, or UI UX, which is UI UX. So then for web development, the focus on functionality, how the functions will work, the coding that will bring out the visual appearance, and the logic that will help send request and then get request back from the back end, right? So that's what, in terms of focus, that's what web development focus, right? Um, so in terms of technology, web designers use Figma, Canva, Photoshop to create the visual of the website, how they want the website to be. So if you go to a website like Figma, okay, so so let's continue. I'll show you some design platform. So if you go Figma, Canva, so any software that helps with graphic design is what they use, right? So for web development, use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and backend programming, right? As if you are using a framework. Excuse me. So then the output of a web designer is a wireframe or prototype, right? So what they design in Figma, Canva, or Photoshop is either a wireframe or prototype. A prototype is something that looks real, something that looks like exactly what you want, but um, that's not the exact thing, right? So what the web development will work on is actualizing the prototype, that is working on how the prototype will come to life, right? And then working on the wireframe, how the wireframe will be arranged on the website. Right. So they also um, working websites with interactive elements. So they also apply interactivity, how the website will interact when you click something, what should happen, which will um, be part of what the prototype will actually display. So whatever is displayed in the prototype and whatever the reaction is in the prototype or project description is what web developers will implement, right? So they can implement something out of what the requirements, out of the agreed requirements, out of the scope rather of the agreed requirements. So they have to implement something that has been agreed upon by the web designer, the project owner, right? So that's that. So example website for web design, if you want to see uh, samples of designs that people have worked on. So you have Behance and Dribble, right? So let's see some of let's just see one of the websites. Behance. I don't actually have a I don't have
Sorry, sir. Please let's see the example of the website again.
which website. Sorry, which website?
Showed us now example of some websites under, then you remove it again.
Okay, I'll show you. It's Behance and Dribble. I'll show you. Behance and Dribble.
Yes, yes, this one.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so this is Behance, and you can search project here. So okay, portfolio. So I think it will require me to log in, and I don't want to log in. So you can view different designs here. So if you want to practice, you can view different designs here, right? And dribble. So dribble is actually more. So this one hosts website design very well, I know. So you can see sample of websites here. You can work on. You can replicate with your code. So can you see the designs? So if you want to practice, come to Dribble and search for project. Right? So that's that. Let's move on.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you. Please go on.
Okay, sir. Just like you said for web design, we have the Figma and Canva and so on.
Yeah.
They are free, right? They have both free and premium plan. So, but for web development, are there platforms that you can also make use of that are free, or they are all premium for the web development? And also, let's say probably like you want to like have a website and all, do we go into like do we develop the website first before designing, or we design first before developing?
Okay. Before let me start from the second question. So before a website is come to life, it is designed before development. because it's what you see that you will code, right? So what you are seeing, the visual look you are seeing from the design from this dribble website is what you want to use your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create. Do you understand? So it's designed before development. And from the definition that we looked at first from web design, so it says that it's the process of visualizing and conceptualizing a project, and it focuses on what visual look. So I mentioned that before you start coding, you do what? You visualize, you internalize the concept, the idea, how you want the website to look like before you start coding. Right. So if you now work in a team, then you have a web designer, right, that will design the interface for you. Then you as a developer will use your HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and other framework to bring that design to life. That is, make it, excuse me, make it into a website through your code. So for web development platform, excuse me, so there are platforms like that, but for web development, you something that you have to develop from your local host, from your tab or laptop, right? So it's not that you go and subscribe to one platform to start using their platform. So there are softwares that you use to write codes, softwares like Sublime, Visual Visual Studio. Alright, so those are free software that you can use. Notepad plus plus. Alright, so most of them are free. So just download and start coding. That's it. So any other do I did I answer your question? Um, so before I forget, the the software we'll be using, I will be using Visual Code. Sorry, Visual Studio Code. Alright, so you can just download it and install. So it is owned by Microsoft. So you can also use Sublime. You can use Sublime. So if you can use one, then you can practically use all the programming program editor, right? So no difference in their usage. It's just the functionality they add to it that makes it more sophisticated than the other. So, but if you want a basic something, so you can use Notepad plus plus or Sublime. So that's that. So try and download the softwares before tomorrow so that you can start practicing. Okay, so where are we? And for mobile people that want to use mobile, um, actually, if unless you don't have any other means, so mobile is not that encouraging, right? It's difficult to use. If you don't have other means and you are very interested can still use mobile. So I will send you a video of an application you can download on your phone and use it to code, right? So you can use the application if you use WhatsApp. You can browse on Google on your phone, then you can definitely use the app. It is not difficult to use. I'm trying to look for the video so that I can just send it straight up. I'm not seeing it. Okay, so I'll look for it and send it to the group. Okay. Let's go. So fundamentals of UI UX design, right? So UI design. So UI is simply user interface, right? So when you say UI design, you are saying user interface design. So what does UI design entail? So it focus on visual element of a website, like we've already mentioned. So and what constitute the visual elements of a website are the typography, right? That is the font style like we use in Microsoft Word. So this font style the is what is called typography, and the font size, that's what constitute typography. Then you have color scheme. So you ensure that contrast colors that are in contrast are being used. So color like white and black, right? So white and black are in contrast. So you can use that. Excuse me. So colors that are in contrast, not that you'll be using um, white and ash color, or um, let's say blue and navy blue. You understand? So you have to use color very uh, that have a very wide spectrum difference, right? So that's what you have to use. Um, can you tell me some like two colors that cannot go together? I know the females here will know. They will know this one. Oh yeah, oh. Colors that cannot work together. Uh,
Yes, sir.
all right. Okay. So sorry, I didn't know when the call went off. So the Google Meet only allows 1 hour straight meeting. So that's why the call ended. Sorry about that. And that was the more reason why we wanted to use Telegram, so that we won't be having this disruption. So, anyways, where did the call ended? Because I was not aware. I was actually not aware. It was when I asked a question and I had to check my screen. That was when I realized. So, where did we stop? Can someone tell us where we stopped? I've explained typography. I don't know if you got that.
I think it's when we are talking about the software, sir. Like the software we'll be using.
Really?
Sublime. Oh, yes, I think so.
Okay, Sublime and so I mentioned Sublime and Visual Studio Code. So either of the two is fine. Then I said I'll send a video of a mobile code editor that you can use for those that want to use their phone. Right. So that was what I said about that. Um, okay. So let's continue. So I was talking about the fundamentals of UI UX. So we said user interface is what we call UI. Right? So if you're talking about UI design, so you are talking about what the user will see when they visit the website. So that's UI design. And what constitutes the UI design is their typography, color scheme, buttons and icons, and the layout that is organizing the content in an appealing way. Right. So I said the typography is talking about the reader, the font, the readable font that you have to use. So like we apply font on in our Microsoft Word. So we apply font style and font size. So that's what typography entails, right? So also color scheme. So I mentioned that we have to use contrasting colors like white and black and blue and white, colors that can stay on each other, not colors that will absorb each other's spectrum. So I was asking that what are the examples of color that you think can work together or cannot work together, cannot work together. So that was the question I asked before the call ended. So I know that the ladies here will know, they will know that one very well. So I want someone to just talk. So I'll go on. Please talk. Oh, our time is going.
Blue and white work together.
All together. Because you can see it on the screen. I mean,
Purple and white.
purple and white. Okay.
Black and grey does not work together. Black and grey.
Yeah, black and grey. Or white and grey. It's not black. Is it black and grey?
Black and grey. They do not work together.
Okay.
Does not work together.
What about white and grey?
It works. White is the background.
And grey is
Regardless,
the
it works.
foreground. I mean,
Yeah.
that should work. Either of the two can be the background.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. So let's move on. Thank you for that. So buttons and icons, making them intuitive and clickable, and layout, organizing content in an appealing way. So that's so example of a good design. We have Apple here. So let's go to apple.com and come and see fine design, appealing, and what's that word again? Aesthetically designed. So you can see the layout, like every section is what have different color settings, right? So this section is different from this, is different from this, and they are saying different things, right? Passing different messages. So they are advertising different thing. And then if you look at the title here, is centered. So it's not placed where people will not see. So one of the kind of design that is that is more advised is to from the start. So there is what we call F design and U design. I have F design. Uh, Let me see if I can. F F design in websites. I don't know if I'll get something like that. Yeah. So you can see. Excuse me. So I want to show you the image so you see what. So what this one is saying is that is a F pattern that people design. The structure of the website is designed in F pattern. That is, let me see if I can see. Yes, you can see if you can see this, you see what we are talking about. So you can this middle is exactly F. This the major the first thing that people will see should be across here, right? So this is showing is tracing what people concentrate on when they visit a website, right? So where people concentrate on actually. So you can see the pattern here from left to right. That's how people view your website. Then the left side down to the middle, then from the left side of the middle to the right. Right. So that's how people view a website. So that's the F pattern, right? So if you notice this, you'll see the same pattern here. Right. So you see the same pattern. And that will allow you to be able to place your information strategically on the website so that people will see what you want them to see. Right. So apart from that, so just see the layout, look at the menus. Everything is where they want you to see it. So anything you are looking for here, you'll be able to find it once you just um, over on the menu. You see drop down menu here, and I don't think there's anything you want to see that you will not find here in this menu. So I'm sure they will have the same at the bottom here. So it's part of making the website accessible so that even when you now scroll down, the menu is still there, it's stuck there, right? So that you won't have to scroll up again before you see the menu and then click on whatever you want to click on. And then you have some of the menu also appearing here, right? So you can see entertainment. So this the footer is also here, which is the entertainment link. So it's just to make things easy for for people, right? So if you can't, if you don't, if you actually skip this part and you didn't see it, so when you, excuse me, so when you scroll to the bottom, you will definitely see the menu here. So that's, let's move on. All right, so the user experience part. Um, so what user experience design focus focuses on is the user interaction with the website. How you want the user to feel when they visit the website, right? So the website that a user visits and they feel frustrated is not a good. It shows that it's not a good user experience for that user, and they will most likely not come back to the website because nobody wants to be frustrated with a mere website that they have different alternatives to visit. So what constitutes a good UX design is the ease of navigation, right? User find what they need quickly. It's just what I explained earlier. Fast loading speed, less than 3 seconds. That's what Google recommends, that your website should not load. The speed of your website, like your website should not load um, more than 3 seconds. So, and what they mean by the 3 seconds is um, the first paint. How do I explain this? So you can actually do a speed test here. Here's the developer. Yeah. So you can do a speed test here and see which one. Yeah, so excuse me. So where I was looking for where to test for, so where to test for mobile and desktop. I was trying to get here. Right. So to analyze page load, you just click on the analyze page, then to audit the page and tell you the speed, if the website actually pass the speed test. Okay. So we eventually see what the speed test is. Right. So let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So a good, okay, I was explaining this. So fast loading speed, I've explained that. Mobile friendliness. So you don't want to visit a website on a mobile phone and it cannot even adjust itself to the size of the mobile you use. So you have to be scrolling from left to right on the mobile phone just to view the content. So I'm sure that some of us must have, like most of us must have visited a website that you have to be scrolling from left to right to view the content. So that means the website is not mobile friendly, which is not a good thing, right? So it will not give you a good user experience. So for you to be scrolling left to right to view the content is stressful and you will not like it, right? So it won't give you a smooth user experience. So a clear call to action is um, telling your visitor what you want them to do, right? So if you go to that Apple, I don't know if it is taking so much time to load. So that apple.com. All right, so a clear example of a clear call to action is get in touch, right? This website owner wants the visitors to do what, to send them a message, right? Which is very clear. uh, you get in touch with us if you want our service. It's right here, just get in touch. If you email, if you select the product or whatever you're interested in, send a message. Excuse me. So this is an example of a clear um, call to action, right? You want them to um, send a message. This is another example. Talk to us. So this will also go to the contact page to excuse me. So this will also send a user to the contact page to send a message. This is another book a session, right? And this is another one, check our training catalog. So with that, you are sending users message what you want them to do, right? You see, okay, you can see this call is showing a lot of things that it says that the SEO is not good. Excuse me. Yes, I had to excuse myself. Sorry. So the test is showing a lot of error, visual disorder, blah blah blah. So um, best practice is not followed, and the errors are here. Uses HTTPs. So the details are here. So if you build your own website too, and you want to check the the problem, or so you can actually let me see for this website. Um, so let's see. Okay, so we were talking about clear call to action, right? So this is an example of clear call to action. This part is advertising their MacBook Air, right? And it says learn more or buy. Want to read more about the want to read the specification of this item, learn more. If you already know what you want to buy, just buy. So very straightforward, right? So imagine that you already know what you want to buy and this buy button is not there. So that means you have to click on learn more or start looking for where to click a buy button just to, you know, purchase this, make order for this. So you can imagine how that would be frustrating because there is no straightforward way to get to order what you actually wanted. So that's why the the call to action is very important. It has to be clear and you have to place all the buttons where people should see it, right? And then you have to think about your users, right? So what you want them to, what you think they would want. So that's what you have to put on your website so that it can be easy for them to use. Right. So let's continue with this. I'm supposed to finish this today. Okay, so we are done. We are done already. Just few things to talk about. So that's user experience. So I said ease of navigation, fast loading speed, mobile friendliness. Please mute your mic now. Okay, so you can see this website even still try a bit, right? So this is the score. The largest content paint, contentful paint. This is the one I was talking about. So is 1620 milliseconds. Is that more than 3 seconds? Is that more than 3 seconds? This rating is based on, okay. So I'm not sure, but I as you can see, it's the rating is somehow encouraging, right? The rating is encouraging too. Um, okay, so example of a good user experience is this is google.com. So what do you notice about this page? So I want you to talk. Let's talk. What do you notice about the page? Please unmute and talk, so that we can finish on time. It's almost 11:30. I'm sure that some people would want to sleep by now.
The loading time.
Yeah, it's very fast. Yes,
Yes, very fast.
very fast. Before you even click enter, it has loaded already, and it's because there is the page is free of unnecessary things, right? Very clean. Just the logo, where you put your when you input your search term, then the Google search. I'm feeling lucky. So that's everything on this page. So other things are not really, except you are looking for something different. So even this, you can search all these, you can search through here and you still get your results. So then they actually find a way of putting all their apps when some people would want to display it like this, right? So this page is free of distraction. So this is the focus is to use this search but this search function, right? And keep people away from distraction. So that's what they've done. So um, which is a good thing. So another thing. So let's look at another Google search engine and see the difference. See, there is DuckDuckGo, DuckDuckGo. And see. So let's see this page. So you can see this is another search engine, right? So they also maintain a simple look, and they even contracted their links, right? So instead of putting link over here, so imagine you put some of this link over here, so which is all. So they want the focus to be what, to be on this search, so which is um, the F design pattern we talked about, right? You remember F design? Yeah. And then they make it look as if this is the only thing on the website. Yeah, this is the only thing on the website. Until you scroll down and down and down, you see a lot of things. But I would say they would have put all this information on another page. Why? So that it will reduce the load time of this page. You understand? So all this information down here should be on another page. So this should just be a link to all this information here. So learn more, then it will load another page for this. So instead of putting this everything here, which most people will not even read, right? So they could have put it on another page. Excuse me, so that it can reduce the load time of this website. So so you can compare and contrast other platform to similar platform and see which one has good. So key component of well designed website. So a well designed website has the following. So this is just a compare like an analysis of the user experience and user design. I mean UI, user interface that we talked about. So everything combined together is what is being analyzed here. So navigation, the menu should be easy to use. Typography, the font size and the font style should be what should be readable. So these are examples of websites that you should look at for some of these features, right? So now imagine you put all these features in a single website, right? So that's what constitutes a good website, a good user design, user interface design, and user experience design. Okay, so we can just visit one of these websites and see the navigation. So let's go to amazon.com. Amazon. So we are looking at the navigation here. Okay, so the navigation. So what they mean by navigation is this link here. Somebody just joined, and the class is about to end. So the navigation is the link over here, right? So this is the navigation showing the categories of items on this website and other things here. So so you can see, very simple. I think they've redesigned it, so it's not like this before. So this is just showing what categories of items on this website. So whichever one you are interested in, that's what you click. Unlike before that you see different things like Jumia, right? You see different things that you are not even interested in. They'll show it on their own page, while these categories are also there at the top. So excuse me. So that's navigation and typography. So simple font style rather, and readable font size. So, and then color scheme. I would like us to check this Spotify and see the color scheme. Spotify, is it .com? So what they mean by this, the color scheme is the combination of color on the website and how they've been used, right? So this is so look at, very simple, right? It has black dark background with other contrasting colors, right? So you see that most of these are with white and with white actually. So, and also look at the colors here combination. You can see that they are in contrast with the background. So that's that. So you can explore others on your own. So what other thing? Accessibility and responsive design. So accessibility ensures that all users, including those with disabilities, can use a website. So the key accessibility features are the alt text to image. Where is that sound coming from? I thought I read some. Uh, okay. So alt text for images, that's um one of the assets. So what they mean by alt text is when an image could not be loaded, probably due to network issue, or the source of the image has changed and the image could not appear. So the alt will be shown on in the position where the image is. That's the alt text, the one that will be shown as text instead of the image. So then keyboard navigation, you can use keyboard to navigate the website, like using your tab key and your enter key, then the color contrast as well. So for people, some people that might be maybe color blind, so you need to use contrasting colors. So tools to check accessibility, so you have web AIM contrast checker. uh, so let me see if then you have wave web accessibility evaluation. Then responsive design as well, you have flexible layouts, CSS, media query, and fluid image images that resize automatically. So I wanted us to check the contrast checker, but um, what I would want you to do is so check um, good and bad website design, right? From this award, right? So you compare the good versus bad based on UI, UX, accessibility, and responsiveness. Oh, let's see. We are supposed to create a wireframe today. We're supposed to create a wireframe. So we'll be able to we'll create a wireframe tomorrow, and then the wireframe is what we're going to use to create our website, right? So tomorrow we are going to create a wireframe like goes with this. So any question? Any question regarding what we've talked about today?
Hello, sir.
I
Hello, sir.
I
Yes, sir. My question will be directing us the front part of the, like the beginning part of the class, where you
yes.
discuss front end and back end. I did not get that part, sir.
The Are you talking about how a website works?
Yes, sir. The coding aspect.
The code, and we did not code. We didn't code the class.
You made mention of hosting, how to host your page. Then can you just brief over that?
When did you join?
I joined from the beginning of the class, but I couldn't get that part well.
Okay, so what I explained earlier, I explained with this website, right? So this website was hosted on Q server. I don't think I'll go deep in detail like I did previously, but excuse me. So this website is the website, this rgs.com.ng was hosted on this website, right? So this the rgs.com.ng domain was bought here, so which is what is showing here. The host service is what is showing here, right? So all the code of this website is hosted here. So when I click on that one service, and then if I click on this, that means I'm going to the control panel of this. You can see rds.com. So I'm going to the control panel of this website. So if I click on log into control panel, it will show me the control panel of the website. So then I can, so inside this file manager is where all the code of sorry, inside the file manager is where all the code of this website is hosted, inside this public HTML. So let's say we have the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript inside here. So this is the code of the website here, right? Website was built with WordPress. So this is the code of the website. Everything here you can see CSS, right? You can see the folder of the font. You can see folder of the images. Everything associated with what you are seeing on the website. So this is where they are hosted, right? Did I answer your question or
Yes, sir. Thank you.
explanation? Okay. Any other questions so that we can wrap up?